Use your words, Marina. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you about today, first of all, hi, and I love you, and it is wonderful to see you. And it is my honor to share beautiful Florida on such a nice day. So yesterday, something that was really helpful at the beginning of class, we started talking about the loops, how you know, because I had kind of been in a bit of a funk, and how those, it's just it's a loosey football every single time when you're like, you just can't believe, like, you're watching yourself fall into this trap of, I don't feel so great, so then I start to do, you start to feed that side of your, like, how the negative loops pick up speed, and then also at the same time how the positive loops can pick up speed. And so yesterday, if you weren't in class, we started standing and just kind of, I sort of blurted out like, um how, like, just set aside what you need your life to look like, or what you think you need your life to look like, and realize for a moment that you are just the universe expressing itself through some sort of like concrete image, some sort of physical form. And then, but then when you go from there, then you have to immediately go to, but that physical form was also created by the external world, by the universe. And so it that kind of, there's no way to understand it in it as a static. There's no way to understand existence in your existence in like a static form. The only way to kind of get your head around this stuff is to literally just be fluid. And so I thought that was incredibly helpful yesterday. And then this morning, I was texting a friend, and I found myself talking about progress, and I because he's you know doing something with his restaurant, and it's a different concept, and it's not going so great right now. And I was like, I said progress is only linear over a very short timeline. Like, ever, I would go ever with that. Progress is only directly linearly upward. If you take a fucking, like, if you break down the parameter of the axis you're looking on small enough to make it very, very small. Progress is always a series of not just like sort of ebbs and flows, but pivots, right? Like, so you got to break that wall, and like sometimes you have to kind of reinvent what the thing was for in the first place a little bit, or where you thought it was taking you. But we are Americans, right? We culturally like shit to go right and fast and forward. And as much as that might sound like, well, who wouldn't like that? There are tons of places where darkness and balance and curiosity and the unknowable are valued in the same way we value fucking hammer down manifest destiny bullshit. So like, we tend to describe progress as this, like, you know series of high points, but it's really, that's just confirmation bias, right? Like, and so we get discouraged when progress actually turns out to be a bit more of a Jeremy Bearimy. If you watch like The Good Place, like, it's actually pretty cyclical. It turns back on itself, it expands and contracts, and it stops completely, or it slows to a halt sometimes. um and then that got me thinking about, so sometimes I can be a little guilty of like only thinking about huge concepts, and resistant to the point of belligerence, like data. Like, if you ever hear like like, I just don't want any more metrics ever. I think people get too focused on that shit. Admittedly, I get too focused on the big shit, and that can be really paralyzing, because we all need little wins to be able to keep going. We need little wins. So I thought, that got me thinking, if progress is only linear and positive on a very short time frame, and I have difficulty, like, with the sometimes, like, the momentum escapes me. And because if you look too broadly, you don't have anything to hold on to. You can't generate momentum, because you need friction to generate, like, you to at least get the ball rolling. You need something to push off of in the first place. So if progress is only linear over a very short period of time, then what if I just, for a little minute of every day, what if I just intentionally shortened my time frame? so that I could feel like, oh, I did this, this, and this, like little bits of progress. Do you see what I don't know if this is like really boring to all you guys and you're like, yeah, we were born with that knowledge. But and if you do enough of that, if you shorten the time frame enough so that your progress does feel linear, like, here's a day. Did I have a good day? Okay, cool. How about a morning? Did I have a good morning? Okay, cool. What if I took it an hour at a time? Okay, that's something. And then eventually you get into this sandwiched, very, very small measure of time, which is nothing more than the moment. Like, nothing more than, if you take that timeline short enough, it just lands you back and it's a dot. And it's a dot in the present moment. And that's how we keep going, is we keep kind of working from here. So anyway, I don't know if that was helpful to any of you at all, but I enjoyed the ride. All right. Ow. Come on into Childs. Everything hurts.